single match. You know, if things start going badly for CLG, then as a lot of the analysts predicted, it could snowball the series.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Hihi, he better be able to run fast because Faker, he's coming for that booty.
Swiggity swooty, and you better watch out because Faker usually gets what he wants.
But it's such a problem when we just look at the pick and ban phase because we know the amount of counter picks Faker does have. Like Fizz is one of them he showed in the semi-final. If you can play Fizz into Xiaohu's Azir, you can play it into Hui's Azir as well.
Yeah. No surprise here, they're targeting Hihi right off the bat. Now, one of the things that went into CLG's choice of blue side every time here is that they wanted to pick the blue champion as well. Ryze has been key for Hihi in all of their series. Aurelion Sol is the first target there from SKT though.
So what do SKT do? Are they willing to ban it, or will Faker play one of those counter picks that we've talked about? You can see Alistar, Sivir, Maokai, the bans from CLG.
Yeah, so with the last ban, CLG is kind of telling SKT, we removed their first pick top option, so now Ryze has to be a ban, and that's why SKT is banning it. Otherwise, you know, they could have left it open, given it for free over to CLG, and only get 2 picks without the same value as a Maokai. And I think this Ekko first pick is the correct choice, because Darshan needs a good matchup in the top lane.
Yeah, I think the only thing he does need to correct, yesterday when we were casting their game versus Flash Wolves, there were multiple points where me and Cripple were like, Darshan should know at this point that he has to play safer because there is a 3-0 Kindred on the map, and he was punished. Karsa did a really good job of asserting pressure and getting Darshan behind.
And I really like how we see these adaptations between series. Ezreal coming into the playoffs, we're not looking to be the most contested AD carry, but then during the series we saw these AD carries saying, you know what, we actually want to have a very safe choice in the bottom lane where our support can start roaming. That choice is Ezreal. This is like the LCK final where both the Tigers and SKT wanted that Ezreal pick because then it opens up your support to start roaming around.
And of course for Bang & Wolf, changing that playstyle a little from being over-aggressive in the group stage to being a little bit more controlled, a little safer during the semi-final earlier this week. CLG Gaming got 20 seconds to lock in their picks. Where are they targeting?
Ekko mid coming in. Surprising in a way. Shown very early, because they want to make sure that Darshan can actually take the Poppy top, and obviously they saw the Azir, so they felt like, okay, this is going to be the matchup we take.
Exactly. The Maokai is banned, so they want to take away the third of those top 3 triumvirate of the top lanes. The only thing is that Thrundle has been the lane bully that comes in and tries to break up those 3, stealing the stats of the tanks up on the top side.
And this is still a flex pick for SKT. Obviously can still be moved down to
Very
support
possible.
if needed. Nautilus is an option up top lane if you want a pure tank against the Poppy. But this is again one of the big questions we had. What can Hihi blind pick? Technically in this one they had a flex pick, so he wasn't completely blind. He saw the Azir, he could now take the Ekko into it, but that's still a very, very hard champion to play.
It is, and it's a champion that plays into sort of a style that Hihi's tried to adapt to multiple mid lane champions, where he presses the lane, tries to shove out the wave, and get multiple early backs. It is a style that can be punished with jungle pressure towards the mid lane, and that's why this Elise is also a pretty important pick here for me for SKT, signaling that Blank actually wants to go for a lot of early ganks instead of opting into that hard farming, which has been prevalent.
We have seen so many Kindreds, Nidalees, and so on in this tournament, but this is an Elise now coming in as the first choice, and it's because SKT has decided it's not about what Blank can do as a carry. It's about what he can do for his lanes. And he's playing a more supportive utility jungler, and wow.
The Nami is locked in.
Are we back in Season 3 or anything here?
Ranged supports are a thing. The moment Alistar's banned away, we're just not seeing anything. So, Nami, Kobe, what do you think of that?
One of the biggest surprises to everyone was that at this tournament, the entire world started following the North American support pool, sort of defining the meta. Now Wolf is taking it one step further and saying, aphromoo, I see your Sona,
We're trying too hard to make
Nami.
new picks happen right here, I feel like. Sona yesterday, now the Nami as well.
Hey, the Sona worked.
It did work. It was a good pick into Karma, which was the reason obviously aphromoo.
As a former Nami main, is Nami a good pick into Soraka?
No, I actually don't think so, because Nami is built around either you play a passive sustain lane, or you try and play with an AD carry who can outtrade the enemy AD carry, and you set up these picks with bubbles. The problem is Soraka will out-sustain the Nami, so you actually have to be able to all-in them.
I also agree with the Fishio in the team fight phase as well, because when CLG run the Ekko mid Poppy top, which they've done before, they use it to take out the back line of their opponents. And Nami's a little bit less reliable in defending her AD carry.
We'll find out if those tidal waves work out. You guys at home, jump on Twitter for the first time in the Championship Series at the Mid-Season Invitational. Will it be hashtag CLG win or hashtag SKT win? As far as the trophy is concerned, you can see both NALCS and LCK setting themselves up to do battle in this best of 5.
Definitely going to look at the top lane, first of all, for me, because I want to see how SKT play around Duke. This should be a winning lane for SKT if they find normal lanes. Will CLG try and force the lane swap because of this?
We're about to find out, Kobe. We are on the riff for Game 1 in the best of 5. The North American LCS on the blue side for the entire series, however long that may be. And SKT, they've got their sights set on the only trophy they have yet to secure in the world.
It's definitely something that people have glossed over a little bit. This is one trophy that slipped through the fingers of Coma, Faker, Bang, Wolf last year at MSI. The one thing missing from their collection.
Taken away from them, if you will.
Stolen, basically.
Yep.
Earned by China's
I like that one.
So this game again, we saw some surprising things in the pick and ban phase. Nami obviously jumps out instantly, but also as we talked about, the fact that we get this Thrundle Elise combo for SKT, what I liked so much is that CLG likes to counterpick supports. But when they saw the Thrundle, they didn't know. Was it going support? Was it going top lane? Obviously, there was a high chance it would be top lane for Duke into the Poppy, making it a bit harder for CLG to get a specific counter pick. Soraka is just their go-to, honestly, right now. A lot of people consider her the strongest of the ranged supports, and that's why they went for that choice.
CLG are going to get some early information. Let's see how they react here. Bottom lane does look like they're trying to move away from it and get that lane swap so that Darshan won't have to play into the Thrundle.
And I really like this level 1 by CLG, where they go in and actually get the 3 deep boards.
Some damage onto Blank. They're going to chase this one. Exhaust has been used, but Afro and Stixxay can't really stick to Blank long enough.
So this is very good scouting by CLG, because in the semi-final against RNG, last game, Blank did exactly the same. When SKT lane swapped, he snuck in, started the enemy Raptor, and then snuck down and took a red buff after. But CLG walked in and stopped him.
Yeah, we've got to touch on how aggressive aphromoo is being here. He tried to use the exhaust just to get the slow so his next star call would land. Now Wolf is trying to answer, though, in mid lane.
Soldiers going down. Flash bubble flashed away, but that is a great trade. And going to put Hihi even further on the back foot.
Got it.
Afro's still not done. Continuing to challenge Blank in the jungle. Looking at the minimap, there's no response yet.
That was a really early smite from Blank there.
It doesn't matter, because right now Duke is just getting free farm in the bot lane. He doesn't care about his own jungler being delayed. Didn't even get to see if aphromoo managed to steal that one.
No,
in the
Blank
end.
picked that one up, I believe.
But like, look at the CS, because Duke just sat bot lane, 1v1, Bang is in
look
trouble.
at this, Bang and Darshan.
No, minions.
The minion wave is going to help out, and Darshan gives up first blood to Bang.
A huge mistake from Darshan, though, and a really good punish by Bang, fighting him in the minions, going aggressive, not letting Darshan get away with that.
Look at the minimap. Faker smells blood in the water. He's coming over the wall. He's level 3. Got access to the soldiers.
What's going on?
He's down. Blue buff is given to Faker at level 3. Counter Logic Gaming. They are pulling a G2 and getting crushed in the early game. A third kill on the cards. Starcall comes out. Stixxay's now in trouble. He's trying to put one back. Third kill picked up for SKT, and Stixxay, he's sticking around. Gentlemen, there's an early teleport. This one will be completed by Hihi as he joins the lane.
Everything goes wrong for CLG. Disaster strikes, mistakes, unforced errors from them, and then really strong punish from SKT. They move right in to clean up all this gold.
Honestly, that was one of the most unnecessary starts I've ever seen to a BO5.
All across the map.
If you're CLG, you qualified to this final by beating Flash Wolves in team fights. You said yesterday after the games, we can battle SKT late game, we can fight them in these late game fights and we can win them. Why do you then go into the first game and go crazy, honestly, from level 1? Over chasing, trying to steal away buffs, trying to 1v1 in a massive minion wave top as well.
Backfires horribly, Deficio. But if there was a game to try something crazy, it is game 1 in a best of 5. And CLG are down 1,700 gold already.
Everybody's been talking about the mental state of the players going into these best of 5s. And CLG's been so outspoken and confident in their interviews, talking about respecting their opponents, not fearing them. the jitters seem to have found them early on in the series does not bode well.
I just think so many things were going on that the communication suddenly became almost impossible. Because like, aphromoo is communicating that he's trying to harass the enemy jungler. Suddenly he gets a call from bottom lane, oh, this Thrundle is just pushing mid, he's just getting a free farm. Darshan goes aggressive up top, and like everything just seemed really, really messed up, honestly. And you suddenly lose 3 kills.
Now the ball is in SKT's court. They have such a strong early lead now. We're going to look for Blank to use this Elise, get the vision down, and try and continue the punish here. Pretty much all lanes sitting in very good spots here for SKT.
And let's just talk about what just happened here like a minute ago, because everyone went into the lanes, no more fighting. We had, obviously, Darshan pushing up top lane. Instantly, as he sees Duke teleport, he leaves the top lane. He does not want to play that 1v1. It's definitely not against a double longsword Thrundle already. So he had to leave, meaning SKT got a chance to push out the lanes. Blank is in the jungle.
He's going to try and pressure with the bottom side and increase the advantage, but Nidalee's very difficult to go for those invades on. Defensive ward allows Xmithie to land the spear and ward him off.
But Xmithie is actually on the wrong side of the map here. If you want to stop Duke from farming, you need your jungler topside to just instantly dive him. Seems like though actually by him just taking a bit of the damage, he backs away. I'm not sure if it's because he's not 100% aware.
Oh, look at this trade in the mid lane. Hihi's looking for the parallel convergence. A flash away from Faker. Hihi on the assassin is now in trouble. Chrono breaks back, does not get the damage. There's a time winder. Will continue to poke out Faker just before he gets his divide.
Some very confident play there from Hihi, and that's the matchup that we talked about, the way you're going to have to play it. Here we go, another interaction with the junglers. Blank a little bit behind in farm, as that earlier invade he tried to do on Xmithie cost him quite a bit of time, and the Nidalee should be able to pull ahead, but this bottom side of the map is SKT territory now.
And now suddenly Darshan is all alone.
This is looking scary. 3 members of SKT
No
grouping
teleport to help him.
under the tower. There is a flash available. Darshan's going to put the steadfast presence down. Dashes forward onto Blank. Bubble is not thrown. It will throw Darshan up, and the kill secured by Blank.
Another strong punish from SKT. The first invade fails for Blank, but they're able to recover right after. And Darshan, all by his lonesome down bottom, goes down once again.
Yeah, you're never supposed to sit and just defend on the towers in these lane swaps if you don't know where the enemy jungler is, and he got punished, but now Duke might actually get the same treatment up top.
Yeah, they're going to try and close in on him. No AD carry for the extra damage here, but Nidalee's great at chasing.
There is an exhaust thrown down. The root will find. Xmithie's going to keep pouncing forward, and an easy pickup, the first for North America.
Yeah, we see 2 top laners here, very greedy for farm. No one really wants to fall behind. Duke, he knows he needs to become a split-pushing threat to have value on the Thrundle. And Darshan knows if he falls too far behind, there's nothing he can do to stop him. So they greed for the minions and they get punished.
Yeah, and CLG are clawing right back into this game. Yes, they are down the early dragon, which is something that SKT have focused on very heavily in the knockout stages and done a very good job at controlling. But CLG are happy just to be back within, gold range here. A lot of it, though, is sitting on this Nidalee compared to the Elise, and a lot of it is that farm.
I mean, there's the key thing. While they lost kills, they actually didn't lose farm, because they had some of the lanes, like mid lane, who he had pushed it out before he roamed. Yep. Obviously, we had Stixxay just sitting bot lane as well, farming. So they actually managed to stay even or slightly ahead in CS, and obviously Xmithie getting a lot of farm as well.
And of course, how early in the game, the value of the kill, the gold given over, not quite as crucial. CLG with the tower advantage have actually temporarily taken the gold lead, though that bottom tower will go over with just a breath of air the next time Bang pushes it in.
It is a good sign for the mentality of the CLG players. And this is one reason why they said that they actually wanted to face SKT rather than RNG, because our SKT are a little bit less aggressive in the early game, less punishing for them. And that was something
Except for the 3 kills.
Well, see, that was a lot of unforced errors from,
yes.
From CLG. CLG have no one to blame for that but themselves.
Now, here's this tower falling down. The minion line will conga its way in. 1-2 auto attack should be all it takes, and Bang, with the help of Wolf, secures tower number 1. Only a 300 gold lead, so despite that early start, it's Darshan that's up 20 CS over Duke's Thrundle and 2 levels.
The wave was pushing away from Duke when he died. That's why he tried to walk in and push it out and got ganked. So he actually ended up losing even more, and Darshan just been able to pick up the entire wave, and you can see how Duke is very afraid to get close enough.
And look at this challenge again in the jungle. Xmithie lands a good spear onto Blank, but the Brambleback will reset. He's lost his patience and returned to the pit. SKT are not done yet. They pulled in Faker, and Xmithie will secure the buff. As up top, Darshan is getting bullied. The Thrundle is knocked away by the verdict, and Duke, with that subjugate, wins the 1v1.
First time Duke gets any vision on where CLG is on the map, and then he can start pushing out the wave. Sadly for him, it took over a minute, and that is why he's so far behind. He needs this wave all the way into tower, so it bounces back, and he can start picking up more. Flash is ready for him, teleport is ready for both top laners, and Hihi is always looking to try and land that stun.
Playing it very aggressively, and you got to commend him for playing that assassin, melee assassin matchup into Faker. Talk about getting sight of the junglers. Having sight of this Elise is very important for CLG. They do not have it now, but Xmithie is going for a blind invade while Hihi is recalling.
Blank was able to just pull that red buff just out of range of the javelin toss. We've crossed it over the 10-minute mark. Looking at the minimap, some very defensive wards in that red buff area from CLG. Expected with the tower being down and the amount of pressure that Blank has put in this area of the map. You can just see that vision toggle as SKT. You've got a couple of wards, going to spot out Stixxay returning to that lane.
Yeah, I definitely want to keep track of those wards, especially the ones that get a little bit deeper on the sides of the lanes where the outer turrets have gone down, because CLG do have that extra teleport in the mid lane. If Hihi is able to play it aggressively and shove up that wave, CLG might look to try and pinch their movement.
And one thing SKT always puts a lot of focus on is warding up the river. Take control of the river, because that means your mid laner can often play very aggressive. He can see both sides of the map. He knows he's not getting ganked. The enemy team suddenly don't know if a jungler is hiding there, so they're afraid to do anything. But in this game, because of all the crazy early fighting and CLG being able to push the waves back, they actually haven't really secured anything on the side of SKT, and that allows Hihi to play aggressive, which he needs to in this lane.
Yeah, it was honestly an impressive recovery for the time being from CLG. They still have to be very worried about the late game Faker Azir.
Now, I'm wondering at what point Duke's going to be worried as well. 77 CS to 41, still down in experience, and Darshan, one of the guys we were looking at in terms of how is he going to perform, how is he going to handle Duke and maybe the opposition, has put off a good early game at the moment.
And I really want to highlight what CLG is doing on the bottom side now. Because SKT tried to set up that pink ward in the river. Instantly, CLG pushes out bot lane, roams with 2 members in, and they clear out that pink. So once again, CLG is constantly fighting for the river. And they're saying, SKT, you're not allowed to just hide the river, hide your jungler. We're always going to be able to spot him.
And specifically for the Faker matchup, you talk about being able to play aggressively in the mid lane has a lot to do with the player that they field in this mid lane.
And it's also why the rest of SKT, if you look at the side lanes, especially against RNG, they didn't play aggressive. Because all they had to do was push out their lanes, not fight, not risk anything, just push out your lane, ward up that river, and just let Faker on a Fizz or whatever strong laning champ, not a strong laning champ with the Fizz, but a champion who could then snowball, let him play aggressive, let him get a few kills, and let him win the game.
And that's exactly what SK did to get here to the finals. Dragon will be spawning in 45 seconds. Currently, deeper vision for SKT, as you can see Xmithie starting to clear it out and regain some control. Wonder if CLG are going to be interested in contesting this one. The first Dragon went over in exchange for a kill on Duke, and TP used by Hihi back into the middle lane. Find out if that Abyssal Scepter is going to help him out. A couple of pink wards in CLG inventory, and it looks like the SKT vision is starting to dwindle and wither away.
Again, that's all credit to CLG and how they managed to push up lanes and then roam in and take them out, because it's very hard alone to kill a pink ward. It's very risky to do. SKT is trying to get some vision around this
Iceborne Gauntlet on Bang is going to put a slow on aphromoo. Tidal Wave is flashed away as the dragon spawns in the corner of the screen, but that means no summoner for Afro.
Look at Darshan's positioning as well. He's looking to dive Faker right now at the same time that SKT are starting up this dragon. The dive fails here for CLG, but that's enough to dissuade SKT. All that SKT have to do now is wait for the top lane to advantage to culminate in the tower kill here for Duke. Darshan used a lot of time there going for that play.
Yeah, not a big fan of the roam from Darshan, because I feel like he's much stronger in a team fight at the moment due to Duke also being behind in farm, obviously, and sitting on a Tiamat at this point, so he's not very tanky. That means Darshan should just stay in his lane, wait for a team fight to start, and then he should TP in instead.
Well, they haven't got the opportunity just yet. The mid tower is secured by CLG, 2 towers to 1. Duke was pushed away from that top lane, and the dragon has not been started. Stixxay gets chunked down by Bang's combo, but as it stands, CLG come away temporarily with the advantage.
SKT closing in as well. You can tell they're working on the vision around this dragon. Want to get number 2 for themselves to start stacking that up. And I think that CLG forfeit this one.
Yeah, no contest at all. CLG will be content with the global gold, content with the objective of the tower.
Yeah.
And of course, Darshan has gone toe-to-toe. I mean, he's still plus 35. You know, Hihi was down in CS a little while ago, but has been able to balance that one out. And Xmithie's farming well. I mean, you got to give credit to CLG for keeping the CS numbers up, keeping the gold up to go toe-to-toe with SKT.
Yeah,
Yep. Definitely working through those early game jitters. And Hihi going to get the Azir turret gold as well on top of it. Takes yeah, exactly. It takes a lot of poke. You know, you lose a little bit of map control with your mid laner getting chunked out so heavily like that, with Hihi not having sustain.
I think it's quite a good sign to see Xmithie hitting some of these spears, by the way. Just because when we saw him play Nidalee yesterday, the pre-15, pre-20-minute spears from Fog of War, from the sides, actually were not finding their targets. And we've seen a number of those invades from Blank being punished somewhat. This time around, Blank is going to enlist the help of the Rift Herald. Xmithie's going to pounce away.
He is surrounded.
Surrounded. 4 members of SKT. Xmithie's on the wrong side. Flashes away. Going to buy as much time as he can. Going to continue to get run down. This should be eventually a kill. Subjugate used to reduce some of the defenses here for Xmithie. Pounce is still available. The crowd are watching. Bush is going to help out.
Every
Get the
single
speed.
one
Xmithie's going to keep chasing, but there's simply too much to handle. Slow comes down from Wolf. It's not finished yet. The tower dive finally secures the kill, but what can CLG do? The answer is not much.
Exactly. The key part of this chase, usually when you see someone running an entire team around the map like that, the rest of the team is in a position to try and punish, but CLG on both mid and bottom had their waves pushed in. So Stixxay is trying his best right now to get that up to the bottom turret, and Darshan's delaying with the ultimate here from Poppy.
Stixxay should be able to get the bot tower here because Duke has to run all the way down to defend it. No, he's not going to be there in time. So yeah, you give away 1 kill. For now, though, you traded for a tower. SKT has to be able to get top tower as well.
Yeah, that red buff on Lucian helping a lot there. True damage on the turret. And they're going to be able to get more global gold. It will be a trade here.
Yeah, it should be the tower secured shortly. Blank, I thought for a moment, might be looking to set something up, but Afro's the one that's in trouble. Parallel convergence comes down. Faker chunks out Afro. He's not going to be able to survive, and Darshan now forced to flash away. Xmithie's pulled in as some backup, and the 2 members of CLG trying to thwart a further push.
Yeah, they see a low mana Ezreal here, and they want to try and continue, but it is dangerous.
Look at Hihi in the river. If SKT pick the wrong path out, there could be threat, but Hihi's not going to be able to find anything yet.
They're pinging Faker. Hihi's going to go for the 1v1.
Not going to find the stun. Faker smells something fishy and decides to back away. The rest of CLG seem content to try to get some deep vision at least.
So in the end, SKT gets tower on top lane, gets the kill, of course, on aphromoo. Problem about these lane swaps and the range supports is they become very, very low level very quickly. And Soraka is so squishy, you see Faker just instantly jumping him, killing him. Obviously, this game had a bit of everything. We had a lane swap, then we had standard lanes, then we had another lane swap, and we kind of kept dancing around. But look at aphromoo. He's obviously extremely squishy.
Yeah,
Faker knows it.
And we talked about the value of the deep wards here. aphromoo just getting a little bit too risky here. They wanted to try and turn this, it looks like, because he immediately exhausts, but Faker's able to get the kill, get the summoner spell, and get out.
And extend that lead even further. 2-0-1, Ryze complete, Nash is complete, plus 25 CS. I mean, Faker's already 2 items on one of the most game-changing mid laners available in the current meta.
Right, and normally against Azir, you want to play side lanes because he's stuck in the mid lane and you don't want to run straight into him. So you want to play around him on the map. Problem for CLG is the fact that there's a Thrundle in the game who will beat the Poppy in the split push with also a Hydra build. So it's very, very, very split push focused from Duke. CLG is not going to win that unless they send the Ekko here to try and kill him.
Yep, Hihi's going to go aggressive here for the trade.
That's the one.
A lot of
That's
damage. Duke has already used Subjugate, healing up, but is in trouble. Chrono Break goes backwards. Hihi realizes he's actually been bitten off more than he can chew. And Duke's able to force him away, trading ultimates.
Well, obviously, yeah, Hihi is built to face an AP champion, and now he walks up to a physical damage dealer with the Abyssal Scepter that does nothing.
Wave clear, very important there. Stixxay burning the Lucian ultimate. Level 11 on that calling, so it is level 2. The other thing, though, you mentioned the Azir and the power he brings to the team fights. Also, Blank on the Elise has built the early Aegis, which does provide a decent amount of defense versus Hihi and Xmithie.
Blank actually likes to go ban off command on Elise, gives a bit of AP, some cooldown reduction, and of course...
Whoa!
Always
double teleports deep. CLG are coming in. Oh,
what happened?
Only
I was looking at you, and you're
Darshan
like, oh.
canceled it. See, you see where Hihi is, Deficio?
Oh, I see
Darshan
it.
was also channeling teleport, but they canceled it. Plan aborted for CLG there.
You got me all hyped. I was looking at you and you started yelling.
Got very excited as well, but obviously nothing happens in the play. And both teleports down. SKT will have a minor advantage with Duke's TP still up. We've talked about that Duke into Poppy matchup. Darshan's already got the QSS. Much debated in terms of that top lane Thrundle and why it fell out of popularity, at least in the LCK.
I mean, he's back right now. QSS
We're not in the LCK, so we'll see. We'll see what impact that QSS will have. Darshan actually uses the verdict to try and defend this red buff, and we're 20 minutes into the game. Red buff stolen. So cheeky from Bang.
CLG, you've seen it before. NL did the same yesterday.
Yep. And of course, just to reiterate, 20 seconds until the next dragon spawns, even on gold, despite a 6-to-1 kill deficit. And SKT just down that single tower.
And just to jump on your QSS point there, it is still the right item choice against Thrundle. The problem is, it doesn't really help you stop him from split pushing. He just won't kill you as easily. Like, he will still push you down, he will out-sustain you, and he will force you to defend on the tower. And then obviously for a team fight, he will become a little bit weaker because he can't just ulti you straight away and then keep getting all these lovely stats. So it is the correct choice, but he will still be a split pushing monster, even against the QSS.
Yep, meanwhile, SKT continuing with the standard game plan for them here. Stacking up those dragons. They're very confident in having control and keeping control of that area as their team fight gets better and better. The game right now for CLG is teetering on an edge. They would have to make some big moves here. They still have the gold to win a team fight. They just have to land some crucial silences with the Soraka there.
Well, that's why these teleports and the use they just had before where they had to cancel it is so massive, because the way for them to win this game is by sitting in side lanes with the double TP and then obviously push out both lanes as much as they can and then TP into flank against the Azir.
Exactly. The way I was talking about, CLG loves to play the Poppy Ekko double pick is annihilating one threat from the back line of the enemy team. Bang, though, fending them off from all sides here.
Yeah, it's hard to find an opportunity to flank when Bang hits every single Iceborne empowered Mystic shot. Taking a look at the itemization though, Hihi has a 21-minute Rod of Ages. So CLG looking to buy some time to stack that up. Outer turret drops in the mid lane. Tidal Wave will split CLG and Stixxay will be forced back from the Emperor's Divide. Teleport comes down from Duke. The first victim of the fight is Xmithie as he's dropped down by Bang. Stixxay forced to defend and dashes away with the relentless pursuit. Two-shot barrage almost kills Afro.
Oh, pretty big here for SKT, and they want to continue the pressure, but Hihi's coming in from the side.
There's no one stunned up by the convergence, and with no TP for Hihi, he wasn't able to join quickly enough. SKT get the kill, they get the tower, and they get away.
That was such a big moment for SKT. Now they have so much control. All outers are down. They have the dragon stacking in their favor. They have a very strong team fight they can rely upon. The only thing now that they really have to keep in mind is the teleport farm Darshan and looking for that flank you're talking about.
Yeah, and that's again the problem. Everything we have seen the last 2 minutes starts with that teleport being cancelled from CLG, because now suddenly SKT can siege. Great ulti, by the way, from Wolf, stopping Stixxay from dealing a bit of damage, and then they manage to take down the one member they need to win the fight. But again, getting the dragon, sieging on mid tower, it is only possible for SKT to do without being afraid of anything, because the TPs were on cooldown for CLG. And Darshan obviously cannot win the side lane battle, so he has to be able to have a bigger impact in team fights, or he can do nothing.
And this is SKT's go-to game plan. They're very at home at this stage in the game. They can play safe, they can play calculated, and they just have to move up slowly. CLG, they're the ones who have to throw in the wild card now.
We got the banner.
That's going to give Darshan a little bit of a headache.
Red buff Ezreal, pretty annoying to deal with, but
Darshan's
he gets
TP away. True shot barrage won't even matter. But another time, cooldown blown, and that opportunity to flank, that opportunity to get behind SKT is diminished.
So now the only thing CLG can do is put Hihi in the lane with Duke, because Duke won't have teleport for quite a while, and Hihi will very soon. And Hihi, all he can do is just try and wave clear it. Don't try and fight 1v1 against Duke. Wave clear it, and then TP in and try and 4v5 against SKT. But that requires SKTelecom now to start being more aggressive and like push further past the river? They don't have to. They can literally just set up the Baron, play a bit passive, and wait for that TP from Duke.
Definitely agree. And SKT, as you can see now, they're doing such a good job of clearing out all the vision.
Yeah, play
Plus,
safe.
for CLG, it's heartbreaking that the teleport that's more impactful is the flank teleport from Poppy. The Ekko teleport is a big tool for them. It's just a little bit less reliable.
We'll have to find out if Hihi can make it work. It is available, and Hihi's pushing out that bottom lane very aggressively. As the rest of SKT, they group up. Afro's caught! The Fangs sink in! And Blank is on a killing spree, 3-0. Culling forced to defend the tower. Stixxay has to flash away just from the Faker soldiers.
And now you can play aggressive because it is Hihi in an empty lane on the bottom side. So SKT is saying it's okay, he can maybe take a tower. We keep Duke on our top side at first. We create one pick because, again, the Soraka can't really roam. And then suddenly we can push in, and we don't care about Ekko sitting bot lane.
SKT do not care at all. The inhibitor will be dropping. It's just a few more autos. The hammer comes down from Darshan. He's found an opportunity. Push bang against the wall, and Faker's going to look for one before he goes down. The Barrel exhaust is not going to be available, and Faker tries to get away. The shield comes out from Darshan, and the inhibitor stays standing. That is a gigantic swing for CLG. What can they do with the 40 seconds of time? Time Winder from Hihi will not tag anyone, and CLG have just bought some breathing room. They're still down in gold. They're still down in control.
Might be going straight towards the Baron here for CLG. Problem is there's still 4 members alive. Duke is on his way, level 14 on his Thrundle. Might be the only move for CLG though.
As we said, yeah, CLG have to come up with an unexpected play here and catch someone by surprise.
Duke may be that man. Subjugate is available, going to start healing him up. The rest of SKT peel away. Tidal Wave is not available, and Hihi takes Wolf down. That's the first for Hihi this game. 30 seconds without the SKT support. CLG, they're going to commit to the Baron.
The mid laner is going to have to walk from base as well. Faker not going to be able to join. CLG forcing this one hard.
And Hihi's looking for the fight, being chunked down from Bang. Has not got a flash available. Cocoon lands, but it won't matter. CLG peeled away from Baron, and Bang is low. He's got no mana. It's a kill for CLG. They might be turning it around. A defensive flash from Duke as CLG, they continue to pressure SKT.
Every time we see CLG get down here at MSI, they go back to the... Oh, never mind.
Oh, Xmithie's in trouble.
They go back to
Faker's
what?
looking for a kill. But
well, they need to go back to base is what they need to do.
There it is.
They do need to go back to base. And gentlemen, I just want to remind you, the first time CLG faced SKT, they won off a Baron call. They won after challenging SKT in that area. And CLG, they claw back some life.
And again, every time we see one of these exciting moves from CLG, we have to remember that you have to keep your calm about you. The baby steps to get back into the game. CLG right here, take another one as they take down Bang.
Obviously, CLG would have loved to pick up the Baron, but it's very difficult this early on in the game with still members alive from SKT. So they just keep baiting it. Force SKT to come stop them, then they can engage, get a few kills. Faker!
Oh, Faker might be in trouble! He's down! Xmithie's picked up the kill! They turn their attention to Wolf, and will be sending him back to the fountain. It's a hammer for the kill!
The surprise
again.
plays, Deficio! CLG, now they've got control. Can they force another Baron? There's a pink ward inside. That's all they have to get rid of. Definitely some real damage threats left up for SKT, though.
And they're going to turn their
Not for
attention
long.
to Bang! Bang is in trouble, forced to flash over the wall. He's going to look to get chased. Xmithie's trying to run. What goes up must go down. And killed as Blank is taken out.
Another step for CLG, and they return to force
It's
the
no
Baron.
longer baby steps right here.
Yes, sir.
CLG, they start running, and they're getting more and more. Baron dropping down 50%. Now Duke is the only man here.
CLG need to
Bang
time
joining
their
in.
stun. There's no steal threat from SKT.
This is as good as CLG's unless there's an Ezreal steal. He doesn't have his ultimate.
And Baron is secured! The crowd goes wild in Counter Logic Gaming. They play so well from behind.
Every time I tell myself I'm going to have a calm CLG game, they make a miraculous comeback. Look at this play from Vision. This is something that SKT were doing in group stages to get themselves back on top. But CLG strike back. They know they had their backs against the walls, and they can't lose slowly. So they go for the big play over and over.
And it's the kind of place you just do not expect if you're a team like SKT, who hides there right now. But the reason CLG could do it, because Dragon had just spawned. SKT were looking at 4th Dragon, thought everyone had recall, could set up a bit of vision. Instantly, CLG collapses, gets the kill,
Dragon
get the
stacking
Baron.
is still a very real threat here from SKT.
But now you're fighting into Baron buff, and remember Duke, yes, He's very strong in a split push, but he's not that great in
Poppy.
teamfight.
There's two coming from the flank. Darshan's looking for blood. The dragon should be secured by CLG, and that is a crucial steal away.
Showing restraint there. You don't just charge in. They also have the mid wave here. They can press in and get a turret as well. Really good sign for CLG that they're not getting too hyped up on their steps to come back in this game, and they're going step by step. Just take the dragon, slow the stacking, get the extra gold from the standing turrets.
And I think we have to highlight the fact that CLG were simply not in control. They were only down a small amount of gold at the 25-minute mark, but they were playing defensive, they were playing reactive, and it was SKT in the driving seat until this series of plays.
Right, not only was CLG down a bit in gold, but also composition-wise, it was very difficult for them to get the proper team fight. Had just used another teleport from Darshan as well, where they didn't get anything. So it looked very, very bad until SKT rushed down that mid lane. First guy got picked off, then we got all the Baron baits, and then the big play obviously when they catch Faker, knock him into the wall.
Again and again, CLG showing up here at MSI. It's been said so many times, but they're doing North America proud. Coming from a region that at international events was openly mocked for years. That's why people are getting so excited for these CLG comebacks that they're mounting.
SKT
gonna give them a taste of their own medicine though.
Gonna chase forward, Bang's looking for Stixxay. Afro will find the heal of the Astral Infusion, flashes out of range of the tidal wave, but it's Bang that's in trouble. Here comes Hihi, looking for the stun. Will find it onto Blank, but forced to back away. Duke's on the front line, look at the slide, glide, divide. Faker split the fight, but nobody's gone down. Xmithie was golden from the hourglass. Blank jumps forward, 2 kills for SKT. A full
Number
retreat
3.
as Hihi is trying to recall. Aphromoo goes down, and now SKT have got 45 seconds.
Yeah, short-lived CLG comeback right there. SKT running straight down the mid. They're gonna get the inhibitor.
Darshan just have to go back and try and clear out the minion wave instead, because it's only 1 million minion for SKT. I don't think he can really do a whole lot here.
We're about to find out. It's only 31 minutes into the game. SKT decide not to risk the Nexus turrets. Instead, turn their attention onto Darshan. He's trying to pull the attention, the focus from SKT, and will survive a few more minutes.
SKT realized they didn't have any minions at first, except for that one little guy, so they couldn't actually go for the double turrets. Would have been too risky.
The all-in here from Bang. E forward, using the Blade of the Rune King, getting down all of the slows to try and force Stixxay out of the fight, and then Hihi gets stunned up and almost taken down there. Is able to ult back, but it takes him back to the teleport location. So
Right.
he's not there, and it ends up being a 3 versus 5 for SKT where they clean up.
It's very hard for an AP Ekko to TP into these fights because
Can't survive
when,
long enough.
when you TP in exactly, you want to put out your W, get that massive stun, but it takes time for it to charge up. So when he puts it there and jumps in, nothing really saves him other than jumping back to his ulti. That's why it's so difficult for him to assassinate anyone in the backline when he's teleporting in.
And there's no hourglass for Hihi yet. He's finally got that Rod of Ages stacked up, but needs that additional survivability if he's looking to engage. And we're going to be a long way away before that's wrapped up.
Yeah, SKT are not going to let this one go easily. As we said before, this is the one trophy they are looking to add to their collection that's been missing. We talk about the redemption story of CLG so often, but SKT also had struggles this season, bringing in 2 new players. Darshan now going to try and find his way out and gets the escape off away from Faker. But yes, early in the season with the 2 new players, struggles for SKT as well.
Truthfully, MSI 2016 is a good condensed version of the entire year for SKT. Starting off shaky, making mistakes, not being on the same page, individual players not performing, but they show up when it matters. Darshan's the target, Flash is available for him, as is the verdict. Bubble throws him up into the air. 2,500 hit points. He's going to get burst away, continues to back away using that QSS.
Exactly, QSS won't be up for a team fight now if Thrundle decides to target him, which he will.
Unless he misclicks, but
Well,
we'll see.
true enough.
Probably not.
Well, it wouldn't be the biggest.
Darshan's waiting in the fountain right now with home guards, by the way.
So
There is a ward, he's teleporting now.
let's take a look. Teleports in the river, it's very far away, and Stixxay has been chunked low. Afro's going to do a lot of work Here comes Darshan from the back. The verdict is available.
It's a
Bubble
trap
throws him up into the
and
air.
ulti.
Darshan's in trouble. He's winding up for the poppycopter. He's found a target and sent Blank away. Stixxay's low. Hihi goes back in. That's a big burst of damage onto Bang. The fight is split into two. With Bang down, Counterlogic Gaming might have a chance. There's no fast presence. Faker's got Afro, but the damage dealers are still up. Stixxay's caught between a Thrundle and a pillar, and he's in trouble. They've got Faker, but the chomp comes down from Duke. Darshan's the last man standing in a 3-on-1. He will be taken out, but how much time can he buy? The shield, the presence, the running for his life. There's no flash and no time. There's still super minions. The taxi comes up before the ace is secured by SKT.
CLG did manage to get a few kills here because SKT actually split up at first, fought on different fronts, but instead they made in the fight and now they're going for Nexus.
Nexus turret's already taking damage there and going down. Blank headed right in for it.
they're gonna finish it, don't worry.
Aphromoo's got 4 seconds. The Soraka by himself.
The Soraka wave clear. What's it gonna be?
Heal the Nexus!
SKT set their sights on the Nexus, and in 35 minutes, strike one in the best of 5 against Counterlogic Gaming.
Very, very classic SKT in the final fashion, I want to say, because game 1 always feels so close, and you're like, there's actually a chance they will lose this game. CLG came back in, they were even in goal, got the Baron, everything. But then we see SKT kind of slow it down, take the right team fight, finally not split up, win that team fight, and then they just kept going from there.